I live right on in Union Square. My address was Union Square, 31 Union Square West. So I would literally, and I was in one of the only buildings with a 13th floor,
Mm.
and I lived on the 13th because at the time, like elevators would go from the 12th to the 14th, and mine actually had a 13th. And at the time, right in Union Square, the park was like a lot of rat holes. There was rats everywhere, and so basically, it was a spot where people from the different boroughs, like Brooklyn, Queens, would come congregate in this park with the big boom boxes, dancers. Dancers you would see on TV would just be walking down the street, and and funny enough, my mom was a hair and makeup artist, so she was doing hair and makeup for different artists, from actors to singers to rappers. So I was on the set of music videos from Whitney Houston to Cool and the Gang and different people like that. And then um, yeah, the so at that point my parents were divorced, and the guy she married was a DJ and a choreographer, and so he taught me how to DJ. So I started learning at 11. And basically, because he was a DJ at the time, we had record pools, which is where DJs went to get the latest records before they were officially released, so they could play them out in the clubs and things like that. So I would have access to the latest, the newest records as a little kid. I was doing my own mixtapes. I was scratching on techniques. So I had like top professional equipment as a kid,
Nice.
and I learned from a professional DJ. And so yeah, it was fun. I had a lot of fun as a kid, and then we actually moved to LA. And when I was 13, I threw a party for my 13th birthday in a club owned by Prince at the time, downtown LA. And so yeah, I kind of grew up in this music, and then um, also uh, my dad was so my mom hair and makeup artist, the guy she married, DJ choreographer, and then my dad was in the music business. He was actually the only black music executive in Europe for 20 years, from maybe the 70s to the mid 90s or something like that.
Wow.
And so he also brought acts to perform and did all kinds of stuff, signed signed different artists. So so yeah, I kind of grew up in that world, and then living in LA, it's entertainment world. So
Mm-hmm.
so yeah.
Always been in there. What's the difference between the industry back then and now? And how does that feel to be a music artist at this time with the internet?
So um, yeah, back then there wasn't any internet, and there was more control of the record companies
Mm-hmm.
because studios, the equipment was expensive. And so with time, equipment became less expensive, so it became more affordable for anyone to get. And now, of course, you don't even have to make music anymore. You can just prompt AI to make a song. So it's very different. And also, the equipment was analog, so the quality and the sound quality was different.
Mm-hmm.
On a vinyl, you had a really high quality, cassette tapes, high quality. Then CDs came out, and with CDs, the quality diminished because they went to digital. So it diminished from the analog sound, but it was still good. Then now to the MP3, the sound quality is diminished even more.
Oh yeah.
But there's so many aspects of this music business. I actually was signed to Warner Brothers France when I was 16, and I did a project, but I kind of decided to be independent early on, and yeah, because I just like freedom basically,
Yeah.
and so that was my path. And for me, also, it was more of something I did as a form of expression
Mm.
and and for fun. And it's kind of like just part of being. And I spent a lot of time just with friends, making music, producing, freestyling. Like every day of our lives, we're like fully immersed in the culture. And the culture involves breakdancing, DJing, MCing, graffiti art, beatboxing. So yeah, when I was a little kid, I was breakdancing a little bit. Then I was doing graffiti. I was beatboxing. So like just different aspects of the culture. And then yeah, MCing and yeah, yeah.
What is your focus on now these days? I know you have a wearable tech development happening. I know you do performances and light work, literally. Can you highlight some projects that you're currently developing and that connection with the internet, the privacy,
Mhm.
cryptocurrency?
Yeah. So let's see how I can sum it all up. So the main thing I'm developing right now is a instrument that I'll be able to play by moving my body.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be for sound, visuals, lights, and for performing immersive audio and light um, performances. And I'll have my messages in there, which are a combination of, I would say, a spiritual understanding as well as, yeah, some things about um, kind of the what I see happening in terms of the dystopia happening with us losing our digital privacy and the push for laws to be passed so that we lose our digital privacy, which I think is goes against our humanity. And so, yeah, these are topics that I'm into, and in general, topics. And then, oh yeah, I'm working on music as well. I'm working on a new album now. I'll be releasing a new music video in January called "Happy Slaves,"
Yeah, yeah.
and um, and that song talks about, yeah, it talks about digital privacy amongst other things.
Mm.
And so I'm keeping these topics in the music. So one aspect is just pure hip hop music with some electronic music as well. Another aspect are these audiovisual immersive performances that I'll be doing.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing I do also are interactive light installations, light and sound installations. Um, so this is where the focus is. Music is hip hop is an easy way to share ideas, thoughts, and messages because there's so many lyrics. And usually in singing, you have less words. Hip hop, you can literally write a book um,
Yeah.
because you can put so much content in the
Yeah.
song. So I kind of use it and I combine, you know, you can call it edutainment, where there's
Mm.
education and entertainment combined. But for me, there needs to be a purpose. And um, so yeah, there's so much to share and talk about. So I put it into the music, and then I perform it in places where people don't really expect for anyone to talk about the things I talk about.
Okay.
Um,
Like what? Like what kind of spaces?
just the average place where people congregate and watch performers. It
Mm.
could be, uh, it could just be an event, an open mic, for
Mm.
example. And there's a lot of different topics that people talk about. People talk about love, relationships, all kinds of different topics. But I come in, I talk about digital privacy, I talk about all kinds of stuff that's different, and it's also very direct and in your face because it's designed to to shake things up a bit and get people to actually think and listen to what I'm saying.
Why is this shaking up? important to you, this, let's say, shock factor, um, this ability to really touch people's hearts and minds, why do you think it's effective, and how to do it gently so that you don't do too much disruption?
Um, so I don't mind disruption because what I found is that um, sometimes it helps break what keeps us enclosed, and in order to recreate ourselves. And so I'm not necessarily gentle. I'm just direct and honest, but I am passionate and I am loving. And so it is balanced in that way that I care, and and at the same time, um, yeah, I think it's important to feel things. So yeah, if we can feel things in our bones and our skin, I think it goes to the heart, and the heart, I think, is the place where we meet our humanity, because we easily get caught up in our mind, and the mind is a nonstop ping pong instrument. So going to the heart is a way to just connect with ourself beyond the mind, and just relax for a moment, feel, and just be. And so, yeah, I think that's a powerful place to be, to just be.
But then, okay, where is that being becomes action, where you produce new things, release new work, and channel that truth that comes through you. How do you know how to balance that being and doing?
By meditating every day, by not hurrying up. So if I catch myself moving too fast or feeling like there's some nervousness just because there are many things to do, people are contacting you, there's so many things happening at once. And so I find it good to every day connect with nature as well, even if it's walking and stopping in a park, uh, connecting with some animals, um, even if it's a dog, whatever it is. And I like to move slowly, and I find that I'm more productive when I move slowly than if I'm trying to hurry up and get things done. And I think I think it's closer to my biorhythm to feel how my body is feeling, and to move in that rhythm, and to feel whenever it's it's too much. I need to relax and to not worry about not getting things done. And I feel like that opens the gate, like a dimensional vortex, where you actually get more done by taking your time. And so I think that that creates a balance. And a lot of times, because of that, by the time I start working, things are already thought out. So I end up working for less and getting more done than on a day where I try to maximize the time, and I'll get less done because I was trying to maximize time.
Yeah, yeah, totally understand it. Where does that come from, that motivation for you ongoingly? Is it the people? Is it the certain projects that you are engaged in? Is it like the routine? Um, do you need a team? Do you have a team, or you're good by yourself? Like, where's that motivation coming from?
Yeah, that's a good question. The motivation. Um, I think it comes from inside of my heart. I think um, I think it comes from having a vision.
Yeah.
So by having a vision, by having an imagination, you see something, and then if you keep seeing the thing in your vision that you want to bring to life, you start taking actions to bring that vision into reality. And so I keep that vision alive.
Mm-hmm.
And if that vision stays alive, then your motivation stays alive.
Fair. But then again, do you work by yourself these days as a music artist, or do you have a team? Do you need a team these days? Even how does it feel?
Yeah. Yeah. So um, I've been working all by myself, like 90 something percent.
Well,
So so when it comes to the technology I develop and make myself, hardware and software.
mm,
Um, when it comes to the music, yeah, I produce, I write, record, and mix.
mm-hmm.
I outsource the mastering. And also, like for this new music video I'll be releasing next month, I pretty much did everything from shooting to editing to making the clothes, doing the light installation. It's some I'm a one man show, so like just the production of an album will probably cost, I don't know, maybe 20,000 euros just from all the work I put in. But because I do all of it myself, um, yeah, not a penny really. I mean, there's yeah, the costs remain very low compared to what it would be if I had a team, for example.
Totally get
But
it.
I think in the future, I can see my installation and tech related art projects having big budgets, and at that point, um, it would make sense to have a team.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What's your vision for particularly that tech related projects? How do you see this wearable work developed and the whole performance technology?
Yeah. So I so I see it being happening in large spaces with large projections and lights, big sound, and the idea is to use the natural rhythm of the human body to create. So most instruments are outside the body, and we learn how to play it, and I think that's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And I did a performance with sensors where I would move my hands in the air, and it would create large visuals behind me in real time. And what I like about that is that it opens up the imagination. It's like takes you to another world. And that's why I like things that are immersive. You literally are in another world. And so obviously VR does that. Um, my focus is on doing it in physical spaces because if you can, if your imagination can be taken to another dimension in a physical space, in a space that you can actually touch, um, it just creates an amazing sensation. It's almost like it's undescribable. And what I'm trying to do with that is make um, the audience realize that we can create, transform our reality through our imagination. Because a lot of times, just living in the city, I feel like it's a mundane world. I feel like it's so lame from where we should be. Our potential is so much bigger than what we're actually doing every day.
Mm-hmm.
What we're doing every day is like less than 1% of our potential. And so my goal is to tap into higher potentials of creativity. And that's the goal behind the work because I feel like as human beings, that's where we should be. And so I'm doing that through um, triggering the imaginative mind so we can imagine bigger, larger. And yeah, because I'm seeing, since I was little, I've been seeing amazing ways that we can live, but obviously the world is constructed a certain way. But I'm also seeing how more people are, yeah, creating the world that they want to be a part of, the world that they want to live. So I'm seeing a lot of beautiful transformations happening through communities and things like that. And so, yeah, I want to enrich enrich that through various ways, because everyone has their own way. And then when we by doing that, we share. It's like I'm sharing my perspective, another person will share their perspective. We all share with one another because we're all part of the whole. So I'm just sharing my unique vision and seeing what happens from there. Hopefully, it can be enriching to someone, just like what others do enriches me.
Mm-hmm. Enriching is a good word. Thank you for this.